You're watching Alaska's news source.
I mean, we're all very raw, and we're all still very much processing this information. And there's just a lot that we don't know.
Tonight, a local rabbi processing the war between Israel and Hamas as the death toll continues to rise to include more Americans. And as we come on the air, Israeli Prime Minister says that Israel's offensive against Hamas in the Gaza Strip has only started. That is where things stand now after a surprise attack Saturday when terrorist forces killed Israeli civilians and kidnapped people. And at this hour, the Associated Press reports about 900 dead in Israel and 680 killed in Gaza. Anchorage's congregation, Beth Shalom, Rabbi Abram Goodstein say there are still many unanswered questions. He says he's been getting continuous calls, texts, and emails from hundreds of people in his congregation wondering if friends and loved ones are okay in what's now war-torn Israel and Gaza. Rabbi not just sending a message to the area's Jewish people today, but also those with Palestinian loved ones impacted by the conflict.
Are you okay? You know, how are you doing? Do you have a support system? Who are you talking with? Where are your loved ones? These are all questions I would ask anyone who over there right now, right? I mean, we're all struggling. We're all suffering from this.
Now, the history here is complex. Many Palestinians believe the Jewish people have occupied their land, and some in Anchorage have joined protests and demonstrations across the U.S. There's a small gathering Sunday on Anchorage's Park Strip. And in Anchorage, Mayor Dave Bronson has ordered city flags to be flown at half-staff tomorrow through Sunday in honor of the lives lost in Israel. And at least 11 Americans are dead, other U.S. citizens missing as the fighting intensifies between Israel and Hamas. That's haunting video of a strike hitting in Gaza this evening after this weekend's surprise offensive, which was the deadliest attack on Israel in 50 years. More than 1,200 have died in the fighting, a vast majority of the victims civilians. Israel's prime minister is ordering complete siege of the Gaza Strip.
We have begun, and I emphasize we have only begun to strike at Hamas. The images of the devastation and destruction from the Hamas strongholds in Gaza are just the beginning. We have eliminated many hundreds of terrorists, and we will not stop there.
A spokesman for the military wing of the Palestinian militant group now threatening that every hour Hamas will kill one Israeli hostage for every civilian house bombed without warning. And our D.C. reporters are following the latest developments related to the conflict. White House correspondent John Decker reports the U.S. is pledging it will quickly provide the Israeli Defense Forces with additional equipment and munitions.
Following the brutal attack in Israel by the terrorist group Hamas, President Biden saying this is not some distant tragedy, noting the strong ties that exist between Israel and the U.S. In response, the U.S. has moved the aircraft carrier, the Gerald R. Ford, into the eastern Mediterranean. Meanwhile, administration officials are briefing key leaders in Congress about what specific equipment Israel may need, including the Iron Dome air defense system. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby said the U.S. stands with Israel, its most stalwart ally in the Middle East.
As you know, we have a long-standing defense relationship with Israel where we provide a measure of security assistance material. Of course, they have many of their own organic capabilities as well. That kind of support will continue as well. We will be in close touch with Israeli officials as they expend their munitions, whether it's artillery or missile interceptors, and we will do everything we can to replenish that capability as fast as possible. As a matter of fact, there's already the first set of military capabilities on their way to Israel. If they're not already there, they may even already have arrived. So this will be an iterative process, and we'll stay in touch with them as they expend these munitions and make sure that we're replenishing them as best we can.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken said it is likely that Americans are probably among the hostages held by Hamas inside Gaza. Since Saturday's attack, President Biden has spoken twice with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, reiterating that Israel has the right to defend itself and its people. At the White House, I'm John Decker.
And on Alaska's newssource.com and on our app, you can read more about how the Gaza Strip is being sealed off from food, fuel, and other supplies as a result of tension. The weather stays fall-like locally. Meteorologist Jackie Purcell joins us with the forecast.
Well, winter is definitely showing up over the interior as well as northern Alaska, but it's more fall-like still around most of South Central. No snow sticking on the ground here in the city or really across the region. We do have plenty of clouds overhead after some fog was noted in the early part of the day. So as far as our current temperature, we are at 42 degrees. The winds are calm, and most of areas of the city are seeing temperatures into the 40s over the last hour. Our official high at 44 degrees, 64. That's the record on this date from 2006. That sounds very nice, but we were 20 degrees cooler than that for us on October 9th. Winter weather advisories in the interior, high winds in southeast, south central, much calmer with Cordova and Valdez really seeing the clouds and the rain that are ongoing. But our forecast sees that spin of low pressure hanging out over southeast. It weakens as it drifts north. Anchorage is right on the far edge of all that active weather. So we're going to see mostly cloudy skies, I think, for much of the next week, or at least through the next 3 days. Here's a look at that forecast. That chance of precipitation hangs over Prince William Sound. Anchorage, mostly cloudy tomorrow. Chance of rain, it's just a chance on Wednesday. No major snow. I'm going to leave it at that.
End on a high note, Jackie.
Yeah. Woo.
Download our weather app to stay up to date. You can find it in the App Store on your phone. Anchorage's downtown transit center may be looking for a new home, and the city wants to know what you think. Lauren Maxwell is live at 6th and G Streets with a look at some of the options.
Well, at the very least, the transit center will have to move temporarily, probably in early 2024, when the parking garage it's attached to undergoes some major construction, a big remodeling project. Now, that's one of the reasons the city says maybe now is as good a time as any to think about moving it permanently. There's nothing wrong with the current location, where people have caught the bus for years. In fact, staying put is one of the options. But the city says there are downsides here. The city doesn't own the building. There's no place to sit inside, and there's not room to grow.
We're taking this opportunity to evaluate sites, get the public input, and see if there's a better location that would be a better home for us long term. We're talking the next 50 years.
The city is looking at 5 sites, 3 in downtown, including the nearby parking lot owned by ConocoPhillips, another lot used to hold the Saturday market, and what is now the 5th Avenue parking garage. In Midtown, the old DMV on Benson is being considered, and a lot on Northern Lights that used to house the Northern Lights Hotel. The Transit Department is offering a virtual open house where people can learn more about the sites as well as weigh in on which they prefer. But some current riders are already sharing their thoughts today.
The 5th Avenue garage would probably be a good idea to clear out this area. So this area can be more open, more tourist friendly.
Well, it seems like they're trying to fix something that's not broken. Right? Like this is the centralized location, the centralized hub. You're right here in downtown.
The city says no matter where it lands, the transit center must have strong community support.
So even if you're not a transit rider, if you own a business and you're looking at workers, or if you just want your city to prosper and you want workers to be connected to jobs, the location of the transit center is very important.
They want the public to have a say on the best way to move forward. Now, the department is taking public comment on those sites through October 20th, and they hope to narrow it down to a single site sometime in the spring of 2024, although they say construction would still be several years away. If you're interested in finding out more about those sites and possibly weighing in, you'll find a link at alaskasnewssource.com. Rebecca, back to you.
And as we continue to cover Anchorage's homeless crisis, earlier this morning, our team discovered the city installing a barrier at the entrance to Cuddy Park's camp. That's where Lexi Elverton is now and reports some concerns the gate is causing for the people living there.
Rebecca, the Cuddy Park gate you just mentioned is right behind me. This is how homeless residents who are living in this area are going to have to enter in and out of the encampment from now on. The gate comes after we've not only watched Cuddy Park's homeless population grow, but there are also more cars and trucks here. That's where some of the people here are living. The gate's installation comes after Anchorage police and tow truck operators started clearing a downtown camp last week at 3rd and Ingra. A man who lives here says he told us the gate will be closing around 10 tonight.
If we live here, I mean, why can't we come and go as we please? Yeah. I mean, we may not be paying taxes at this point in time, but in the future when we do pay taxes, I mean, it's like you're trying to like lock us in basically, and it's kind of scary.
And the Supreme Court has sided with the lower court in saying that homeless residents cannot just be removed from homeless camps. In addition, because it's a holiday, city officials have not gotten back to us so far today, but the city has previously said that they do not plan on moving people until they have a winter plan in place. Rebecca?
And when we come back, an Anchorage neighborhood is calling for a bigger police presence. While a new police substation may be added to the area, the Assembly chair says this might not be the answer to neighbors and what they're looking for. And Fat Bear Week has only a few days left. Cast your vote at fatbearweek.org.
You're watching Alaska's news source.
There's going to be a new police substation, but does that really cut down on crime? Steve Kirch tells us why the Assembly's chair is cautioning residents. Steve.
Rebecca, a day before the Anchorage Assembly is set to vote on the police substation, Assembly Chair Chris Constant is questioning on whether putting a police substation in the Gamble Street First National Bank Alaska building will actually address safety concerns. Constant says he understands why residents want to see an increased presence in the area, but in his view, police will primarily use the substation as a break and rest facility instead of officer staffing it. The substation would technically be located in downtown Anchorage, but Midtown Community Council Chair Chris Stoner says she still likes the idea because the substation will be in proximity to Midtown and local businesses that have experienced issues with theft and vandalism. By officers taking their breaks near Midtown, she feels they will be able to respond more quickly to emergencies.
We have east-west movement really fast where they can respond. We're hoping for quicker responses and better responses.
And so this is a limited value, but if it makes people feel better, I'm all for it.
Now, the Assembly is set to meet at 5 p.m. on Tuesday. And if the Assembly approves the lease agreement, bank officials say this facility will likely be utilized by the Anchorage Police Department by the first week of January. Steve Kirch, Alaska's News Source.
Well, it's like fall and winter are holding hands. They're not letting go just yet. So Anchorage, our sunset tonight will be at 7:05. Available light, 10 hours and 39 minutes. I'll have the forecast right after the break.
You're watching Alaska's weather source.
This is more fall-like, isn't it? There's no snow sticking on the ground. Beautiful fall colors. They are hanging in there. This is out of the Homer area. Thank you to Nina Faust to take some regular walks and make sure she shares what she sees. Thank you so much. Temperatures into the 40s for the most part across the Anchorage metro area, right on the cusp of that 40, right at Eagle River, Ship Creek, 43 from Ted Stevens, Anchorage International Airport. Well, we've seen some pretty strong winds across parts of the Aleutians, 30s, even 47 miles per hour at King Cove, some gusty winds across southwest Alaska into Kodiak in the 20s. But check out Juneau, a 63 mile per hour wind gust. It's been very wet and windy in that part of the state. They get a bit of a break here tonight. We'll also see some winds really ramp up toward Wednesday on this far west end of the Aleutians. We'll show you why when we get to the forecast. But they're already talking about a high wind watch in anticipation of those strong winds. But then we get to the interior of the state as well as parts of southeast Alaska, and that's where we see winds. It's wind and snow combination, and this is where winter is happening, not necessarily farther to the south, but into Fairbanks through tomorrow, 10 a.m. They still have a winter weather advisory, and they could see between 2 and 4 inches fall. It could be a little higher amounts, 3 to 6 inches of snow, as well as blowing snow, with winds gusting into 35 and 45 miles per hour. Basically the same type of situation as the snow that will fall over the interior tonight. Slowly transfers across the northern portion of the state. So it starts tonight at 10 p.m., goes through Tuesday for 3 to 5 inches of snow, where they'll see gusts to 45 miles per hour between Prudhoe Bay and Kaktovik. And Aktovik Pass, 3 degrees below zero for the cold spot in the state, whereas Sitka, as well as Petersburg, managed to get up to 60 degrees. But they still see some Cloudy, wet weather from the North Gulf Coast into Juneau. They'll see a bit of a break. At least the rains will not be quite as heavy or even moderate. So for the next 24 hours or so here in South Central, we have actually nice conditions across parts of the Kenai Peninsula. That rain, though, cloudy skies hung over Prince William Sound pretty much through the day. As this low is spinning over southeast Alaska, that does fling some moisture into the Copper River Basin and also into the interior. And there it travels northward to the Arctic slope as we head into Tuesday, Wednesday. Then this big storm system out to the west, they're anticipating some of these gusts associated with this Pacific low pressure system could hit 80 miles per hour. So we're kind of right in the middle of all this on the edge of the storm system, that another one that hits the Gulf of Alaska and really brings more rain into the panhandle. So we have rain in the forecast for Tuesday across the region, but it'll be a lesser amount. There's snowfall into the Arctic slope and even parts of the interior for tonight. Winds will be strong in parts of the panhandle, but it looks calm for the next 24 hours. We'll see a chance of showers with decreasing amounts of clouds into Prince William Sound, but still on the rainy side with gusty winds into Prince William Sound and just a chance of showers moving into the valley. Check out those highs, 40 degrees. I don't have to talk about 50s anymore. 41 for that high. Going for Tuesday into Wednesday, really just mostly cloudy skies, partly sunny, in fact, toward Wednesday. Thursday, another chance for some precipitation into the weekend. So we have time to talk about that. Back to you.
Thanks, Shaggy. Still ahead, celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day, an event at APU is helping to create pride and awareness about Alaska Native cultures. It is Indigenous Peoples Day, and there was a huge celebration today at the Alaska Pacific University. Georgina Fernandez tells us gatherings like this celebrate Alaska's first people and the rich culture.
Rebecca, it's events like these that folks with APU says helps create pride and awareness about Alaska Native cultures. Around 600 people gathered today inside APU's gym. Organizers say there was representation from every Alaska Native community. And APU told us this year it really wanted to focus on the concept of gathering together. So instead of having more speakers like APU typically does for this event, the university said it wanted its events to be more focused on people coming together around food, dance, and song. The event featured numerous dances and songs across a wide range of different Alaska Native communities. The university says it's events like this of having people come together that help start the revitalization process through awareness.
But it also brings an opportunity for some pride and for people to come together and find other people that are like them that want to see that revitalization.
And APU said since the Anchorage School District had the day off today, they did see a larger group of students attending the event. And it also had student groups showcasing games and dances during the ceremony.
Thank you so much. Still ahead, Jackie has a look at our forecast. Mike Ross, what is happening tonight at 6?
Rebecca, this evening we're going to be telling Alaska's story. Ariane Aramburo introduces us to a woman who is mentoring up-and-coming filmmakers, so they too can tell Alaska's story with tips from a pro. We'll have that story coming up tonight at 6.
That should be fun. Thank you so much. And it definitely feels and looks like fall. It's so, so pretty right now.
Yeah, fall is extended. We're into October, so a lot of times we do get snow before Halloween, so we'll have to see how that happens. But they are seeing some high winds and also rain in parts of the panhandle. There is snow in parts of the interior. That's what they'll be dealing with there. So I don't know why it's not moving, but anyways, we are going to be seeing here in the Anchorage area some improving conditions. So partly sunny to mostly cloudy skies. It's really those clouds that hang on over toward Prince William Sound. The weather computer is stuck.
It's stuck on the snow. That's why it was stuck there.
I have it all up here, people. So.
That's all we need, Jackie. All right. Have a great night, everyone. See you tomorrow.